Good evening, I'm Dr. Oculus. Now, Paradise Decay recently released this video trying out the DPVR E4, and in his video he said this.
So this is not a headset for me really. I can play PC VR games on my Quest 3 as well. Airlink is perfect, the link cable is perfect, and I'm not getting this weird judder effect, wobble effect. If you had your eye on the Rift S, they are no longer available. This would be a decent substitute, I guess. But this is not for me.
I got to hang out with Payday yesterday. We tried the Unreal VR injector by Payday, and that's absolutely astounding. I'm pretty sure he already has a video out about that because dude is an absolute legend. It also occurs to me that you can see the FU of his t-shirt through the controller just there. That's interesting. Just a weird way of pausing, presumably. So yeah, we went and tried out the UE VR mod, and as always, PD and I end up talking at great length. Most of the time we also then record it for a podcast, which you can find over on his channel, the Backseat VR podcast. This was episode 5. So yeah, go definitely make sure you check that out and show PD some love, because dude is an absolute legend and he works like a machine. So yeah, he definitely deserves all the love and praise and credit that he actually should get. But with this not exactly damning but not great review of the DPVR E4, he wanted a second opinion. And when you want a second opinion, you go to the doctor. So he has been gracious enough to loan me this massive empty space, which would include a headset. I'm now going to edit. So he was gracious enough to lend me this. Here we go. The DPVR E4. My camera tracks my face for my live stream, and the downside is that when I block it with this, it starts looking for me. So yeah, we're going to try out the DPVR E4. Now, this isn't going to be a full-on unboxing. If you want to see a full-on unboxing, watch his. He did it way better than I ever will, so you might as well just go ahead and watch that video. There'll be a link, like, in the description and wherever else I can figure out how to do this. I'm a streamer. I've stopped doing YouTube videos. So I'm going to get this thing set up, and then I'm going to try and go as apples for apples as I can. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to get Half-Life Alyx installed. I am actually in the middle of a GNOME run myself, so that's going to be good because, you know, it's going to be very similar. I think I'm further in the game than he is, but that's neither here nor there, really. I'm going to try it at 72 because that's what he did to compare it to the Rift S. But I also run my index at 144, so I'm going to kind of do that with this as well. I don't have a 3080 Ti. I only have a 3080, so that's going to be a variable. But I think all in all, I think we're going to have a good time. I have tried a DPVR before over at the VR Realms house. He's the guy who I do the podcast with, which, as you are watching this, you've probably noticed that the podcast is now going to be here. The VOD is going to be, we stream it live on Twitch over at the VR Realm, twitch.tv/the VR Realm, and then the video is then going to be uploaded here, and I'm going to release these. So I'm going to slowly stop drip feeding these out. The podcast is a monthly thing. It's the last Tuesday of every month, although this month is Christmas on a Tuesday, I think, so it may not fall that way in December. But then the VOD is going to be live here, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. I'm going to start drip feeding older episodes until we eventually catch up, probably in the middle of next year. So, right, let me stop talking, get cracking setting this thing up, and yeah, I'll see you in a minute. Okay. So, here we are. Whereabouts we pretty much should be. We've now got Steam VR set up. I'm not getting the twitchiness. Not yet, anyway. One thing I did note in the setup is that it actually says too much light could cause problems. So with a bright, glaring light above him, it may have actually been too much and actually been messing with the cameras. One thing I am noting, that this thing is slowly sliding off of my head, and I am going to have to catch it momentarily. So that's a thing. This flip up feature is nice. Now, one thing in the setup I also noticed, because at the end of the day, he's not wrong. This flip up feature is something you're going to want to do. In the setup, they're like, you literally flip it up, you check your phone. Do I want to play a VR multiplayer game or whatever? And then, yeah. And so to do that and then come back to this, it's inconvenient. There we go. It's slipped off. I have a fat head, so I think I'm going to have to adjust this. Make it bigger. So let me get it on the biggest setting it will do. It does have these in the previously mentioned flexible head strap. It does have these little loopholes that you can make it longer for those of you with a large head. What can I say? I have the ego of a former American president. Right, let's see if that's made my life any more. Okay, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Like the PSVR, with the Halo strap on that. So this to me, the strap on this is comparable to the PSVR 2. And one of the first things I wanted to do with the PSVR 2 is buy the globular cluster, the things to make it better. So yeah, this is very sort of comparable to the PSVR. Now I've adjusted the strap, I can pull the back down a little bit more and pull this to my face. And yeah, I think maybe just the way you wear it on your head makes a difference as to whether this is functional. I also noticed in his video, PD is wearing like a beanie hat or a do-rag or something. And I think it might be catching on that, because I can do this all day and it's totally fine. But yeah, head placement is definitely a thing. The sweet spot is kind of natural to me, I guess. Like when I'm doing this, it's instantly back to the sweet spot. If I take it off, my neighbors decided to do DIY now, and then plop it back on. Yeah, that's pretty easy to find. I am getting massive god rays on looking at this, just the Steam VR menu. They are very, very prominent. Although he's not wrong in that visual clarity does dissipate quite badly around the edge of the lenses. I do have a notoriously massive head, as previously mentioned, which is pushing my face into the headset a little bit more. I did also notice when I first put it on that naturally the angle that you place this on your head, it was actually just smashed into my face, and I've had to adjust the head strap accordingly. Life with a cable is something I'm quite used to. So one thing PD did, and he did the smart thing, he did the right thing. He reviewed this as a consumer. The consumer that sat there with £500 in their bank account and like, do I buy column A or column B? I'm going to come at this from I have a Steam VR headset in the form of a Valve Index. And so this is essentially admittedly it's not, Steam based, but it is a Steam VR headset. And yeah, so cable wise, it is a chunky cable. I also don't entirely understand their choice of having 2 breakout boxes. That's a little odd to me. I don't know why this one exists. It's almost as if they had plans for you to be able to just connect this to some sort of a wireless unit or something like that in future times, and that's the idea here. I don't know. Now, one thing worth noting is there is actually a headphone jack on here, and from what I remember previously, that's essential. So now, apples for apples, we're going for the same thing. My settings, as you can see, I've locked it at 72 here. We have Peng Peng, the VR Game Buddy. So I saw this on PD's screen. I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. Your VR Game Buddy, keep your game frame rate headset frame. It's off the edge of my screen. I can't read it. If I have any problems, I can lower the refresh rate of the headset. No, I can't. Lower the graphical settings, Steam VR rendering resolution, etc, etc. Which, if I bop this button right here, I can, in fact, no, it's already up. So at this point in time, my headset is currently using, wow, 6.4. Yeah, no, I can't read that, actually. That is quite bad. I've got some old batteries from Pico in here, so the controller is suffering. Yeah, so 72 FPS, reprojections currently at 0, and yeah, we're kind of just ticking along nicely. So FPS VR, gifted by the lovely Bull7708, and it is absolutely essential. Peng Peng, you can do one for now. I'm gonna bop you on a different screen entirely, and I'm gonna launch Half-Life Alyx and see what I get. In fact, I've not even looked at the DPVR software, so I've got it here. Oh yeah, here's Peng Peng telling me more stuff. This is the status, this is your controllers, this is your VR player. Click to start the VR player. The headset is ready. Supports panoramic videos and picture playback, compatible with 3 and 6 DOF. Oh, lovely. So it's got a built-in media player. That's pretty cool. And then you can also quickly start Steam VR by pressing this button. So it's very user-friendly. I'll definitely... Peng Peng will leave you where you are. Audio settings. Automatically set the headset and sound option when connected. Now, I have a very different audio setup where I'm using voice meter, so that's a good shout. It's probably best that I do go ahead and add that in here. So let's go ahead, DPVR E4 in, so I can now hear things through here. So that's going to be fine. Debug mode, we don't really want that one. Display, so as we say, we've currently got the screen brightness set to whatever it was set at, which was 21%, it's now 28. We're going to leave it at 4K 72 Hertz. The IPD, let's get that one cracking. Now, I know from a visit to the optician that mine is, in fact, 63.5. But let's go ahead and grab a controller. And IPD adjustment. Oh, that's nice and 3D and jumping out at me. Right, cool. 63.5. Do you want to quit the IPD adjustment? Yes, I do. So that's all set up. That's nice and simple and easy. I'm also noticing that the DPVR has just automatically launched a mirrored view. That's the Steam VR mirror. That's nice. It's automatically launched that. So that's pretty cool. Controller wise, so we've got controller mode, switch controller mode to play mainstream VR games, automatic J and T. Right, okay, so that's what the J means. I saw on the controllers that it had a J on there, and I was like, what does that mean? It means it's going to function like a joystick rather than a touchpad. So it's emulating sort of an Index or a Quest controller, so that's good. Double press the button to view the real surrounding environment. Okay, I want to see the pass-through on this thing. Where is that? Where does that button live? Oh, wait, no, it's going to be this one right here, right? So if I do this... you are currently in see-through mode because of the double click of the button. All right, yeah, I can totally see my surroundings. Can you see my surroundings? You cannot, but I can. The pass-through on this, better than the Quest 2, but that's a pretty low bar. Right, let's chuck that over there. Recenter the view, long press. Yeah, that's actually a good feature. I like that one. RGB lighting. Close Steam VR and try again. Okay. I guess that was the recentering that it was having a problem with. That's fine. Right, the RGB. I don't know who this is for because I'm in the headset, so I can't see a damn thing. So who gives a crap? Sorry, but it's a thing. Like, why waste time? Choose the SDK process priority based on your game's needs. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that as is for now. Headset sleep, set the headset to turn off when it is stationary. Don't do this one. Troubleshooting, fix sound, environment, system information, blah blah blah. Yeah, okay, so that's all the setup I realistically need to take from there. I'm gonna bop this button right here and open up Steam VR once again. And then let's see what we can get up to with Half-Life Alyx. And yeah, let's see what this bad boy is like. The haptics sound cheap. Then actually they're not terrible. They aren't terrible. They are probably ripped straight out of an Xbox controller. I have to agree that the sweet spot is not as easy to find as I was hoping. The FOV is fine. I am aware of the edges, but once I get in game, I'm sure that will sort itself out. And we are now loading. There, those God rays. I didn't overly notice God rays in games. Pretty sure I'm supposed to have audio right now. Yeah, I thought so. Oof. This game is always said low, regardless as to what system I've run it on. Oh, I'm at this part in the game. Well, this'll be fun. So that audio instantly leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah, I thought, when I was talking to PD about this, I was thinking the thing I was unhappy with that it didn't come with an audio solution, but it does come with an audio solution. It's just not very good. That's why they include headphones in the box. Yeah, that's disappointing, I suppose. Right, so I'm not seeing a twitchiness, but what I am seeing is a flicker. Every now and again, it's just bleh, 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 all over the place. That's weird. And according to our lovely friend over here, Peng Peng, I'm currently... so it was the RAM that Peng Peng was going on about, and the FPS is actually in the toilet. Wow. That's interesting. Now let's take a quick nab at what's going on over here. So we're getting no reprojection at all. Our graphical memory has been maxed out, and FPS is struggling. Now, I'm thinking Steam VR video settings. I'm wondering, yeah, it's gone to 4K. The scale is fine. Yeah. So I'm wondering if advanced super sample filter on. Yeah, right. I'm wondering if I would love to know what kind of issue. Let's put this on auto and see if it's actually going to change our resolution. Now let's actually change it to a buck 50, which is interesting. So far, so good. Controls feel nice. Tracking's good. Like PD, I very much agree.
2 cells left.
This need bullets now, or I am so far. Wait, where's my Goram? Where's my Nomeo? Nomeo, wherefore art thou, Nomeo? Don't tell me I've lost him. Wild balls. Right, so I'm not here to worry about this now. How do you? I mean, you look pretty. You get free of that. How do you? Downwards. sneaky little buggers. So yeah, I'm not experiencing the juddering, which is interesting. I am experiencing... See, there's no reprojection at all. Because it's not a Steam VR headset, it can't use them. But my frame rate does appear to have somewhat leveled out, changing that one setting. So that's good to know, at least. Yeah, I'm getting a nice, smooth, steady view, and hopefully you are getting that as well. I think that one change was all it needed. That sounds quite grenady. Man hacky. It's been so long. It's not. It's a nice display. I really have to look for the screen door. I really have to look for it. That's pretty much locked itself at 170. 170. That's totally locked itself at 72 FPS. I am so far removed from this game, it's not even funny. Right, there's my pistol. Yeah, everything seems perfectly fine. I'm not experiencing any major problems. So at this point, I am basically just playing Half-Life Alyx. It's quite functional and fine and understandable. Yeah, I'm having no issues with this. I mean, headset comfort-wise, I've never really gotten along with Halos, so I'm not going to hold that against it. They've opted for a Halo strap, and that's fine. PSVR users will be very, very used to them, so that's not a problem at all. But all in all, there we go. Smash and grab, smash and grab. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. That audio is just terrible. It is absolutely terrible. I could not recommend, based on the audio, that this is... Yeah, it needs headphones. It absolutely needs headphones. Right, can we change this FPS on the fly? Let's get rid of Peng Peng again. I don't imagine we're gonna have a great deal of luck changing this on the fly, but we're gonna try it anyway. General settings, display, refresh rate, up 20. Yeah, quit Steam VR. Let's try 120. In fact, while I'm speaking about audio, let's do the dumbest thing in the world and just see how trash this freaking microphone is as well. Because as a streamer, having a built-in microphone that's actually good and functional is way more important than you would think. Especially if you're going to use this for social things. So what we're going to do is we're going to get voice meter up again, and we're going to, well, hijack the virtual desktop one, because why not? Let's kill this. So this is the DPVR microphone. In fact, what I can do is send it through to my... Here we go. Oh, wow. Wow. I mean, yeah, well, okay. That seems fuzzy. A little fuzzy. Like, I can hear the hiss. Okay. There's a weird ring spinning in here. I also think this thing's got a dead pixel. Yeah, that's a dead pixel. I'm now going to stay on this microphone and put this one away. So the DPVR is up and running. So I guess that's just kind of the basic screensaver. This ring that's just like game ready. Looks nice. Looks like a benchmark kind of scenario. Okay, so this could be the worst possible thing in the world. Oh, that's gone very, very well. Right, you have the Steam VR. Yeah, 120 hertz. So that is going to be very good for. Do you know what? I can. No. All right, screw it. Yeah, that's going to be very good for the kind of people that like to do things like Beat Saber and your rhythm games, shooting games. It's going to be much better having nice fluid movement. Currently at 120, that's absolutely fine. And we're using most of my VRAM already. Jesus. Back to HLA then. Let's jump in and see how this pans out at 120 hertz. I may... Interestingly enough, it's asking about reprojection now. Yeesh. That's not too bad. I have no audio. I'm sure I should have audio right now. Has the DPVR taken over the audio again? Yes, it has. Okay, that's annoying. Maybe that's one of the settings, though, that I could actually disable that. General settings. Display, controller, RGB, troubleshooting. Guess it's going to be under general. Audio. Automatically set the headset to sound option when connected. That's turned off. Brilliant. Fantastic. Right, well, let's get back to the Steam mirror and check out Half-Life Alyx. Attention! Low GPU memory detected. Yes, it said that on my 1080 Ti. It says that on my 3080. And from people with 3090s and things have also said I get exactly the same error. So that's a thing. So it says that the resolution now is at 2204 by 2204, and it's actually upped the res. That is not smooth. That is not smooth. I'm getting massive reprojection. But the reprojection option has now vanished. Interesting. So I just want to jump into Steam video settings. It's lovely and clear. This is absolutely lovely and clear. So that's 22 super sampling filters on, and let's take the render resolution to custom, and 1800 by 1800 is its current resolution per eye setting. So it's actually increasing itself, but that's going to be my Steam VR that does that. That's fine, and that's fine as well. Let's resume the game. Yeah, I can see it dragging back and forth as I'm turning at 120 hertz. That's not to say it's the headset itself. It is absolutely going to be my system. I'm going to turn off the advanced super sampling to stop that from juttering around. But yeah, it's not loading in real quick. I have also just installed it to an SSD rather than the NVMe drive because the NVMe is full. So all in all, my experience is not the same as Paradise Decays. As I said, the biggest problem I have with this is the audio solution. So, yeah, okay. Gotta say, not gotten this same experience. I think it might have been down to his lighting. Lighting is very important in VR for certain headsets. Certain headsets, not so much. I'm just using my basic room light. If I turn off my basic room light, now I'm just using the little bit of daylight that I have, and that's still... yeah, it's still tracking it. It's still fine. And my performance is fine. I'm not hitting the 120 I want to hit. Typically with reprojection, what I would do is aim for 120 and then let it reproject if it's really bad. But reprojection just does not seem to be an option with this headset at all. That could be a problem for end users, especially those that are not initiated. The controller haptics, that's a little inconsistent and weird. This has been an interesting experience for sure. I can understand somebody considering this headset, especially if you don't want to be part of the meta ecosystem. That I could totally understand. It's an option. So if you remove meta from the equation, maybe I should swap to the better mic for this section. Yes, so if we take meta out of the equation, that essentially leaves you a Valve Index, a Pico, a big screen VR, a Pimax, this thing, obviously. Yeah. And so from what I've tried, the Pimax Crystal, absolutely love it. Let me take this off. Right. So, yes. When it comes to the DPVR, whereabouts does it fit into the market? You could buy a one of these things. Yeah, you could buy a Cosmos Elite. That is a lovely, lovely headset. It's nice and crisp and clean. You can have the wireless module on there if you don't want cables. So you could go that route. The problem with that is it's not a cheap headset at all. It's index money. And it comes with Vive ones. And they're like 10 years old at this point. They are not functional for modern day VR. You could buy the big screen VR. Now, the big screen VR is... I've not tried it, but what I will say is it is a headset. That's it. It's a headset. It's like £1,000, and you still need to buy base stations. You still need to buy some form of controller. And then there's the PC to run it. The big screen VR, to me, the market for that is people that need to upgrade the index. They're happy with the controllers. They already have the base stations. But the index itself now is, well, this game is 5 years old, and you got this game with the index. So that is, if I remember right, probably about 6-year-old headset at this point. It's a great headset, and if anybody said, I want to buy an index, I would be like, that's a pretty good choice. But it's showing its age. The panel in the index is not the best panel. You are not going to get the best performance. I was recently playing Stray. I was playing the Luke Ross mod in Stray, and I was using the Pico. This is pre-Quest 3. I was using the Pico 4, and it kept crashing. And I thought, okay, let's take the Pico out of the equation. Let's take the wireless streaming and all that gubbins. Let's take all that out of the equation. I'll go straight for the Steam VR headset. Because one of the things I love about the Steam VR headset, one of the things I love about the Index, is the simplicity. I recently did a video that nobody's ever really going to see that involves this polystyrene head right here, which you may or may not notice has got a whacking great big hole where the eye is. And the reason behind that is I was doing a through the lenses. And I was doing a through the lenses of the Quest Pro, the Quest 3, the Quest 2, the Index, and the Pico to see which one looks best. And the end result was I wasn't happy with the video, so it got scrapped. But doing that myself, you know, you're going between headset to headset to headset, checking, yeah, this is on, this is where it is, good, plonk it on the thing, we'll start recording. And myself, I could clearly see. I mean, I wanted to get the video for you guys, but every time I changed headset, I transitioned from headset to headset to headset. And the Index was the simplest one to get up and running by a like an insane distance. Like, it was so easy to do. But I could, the panel was just so obvious. I was just like, it was like rubbing Vaseline in my eyes from seeing it clearly to just seeing it less clearly. It's still a great, don't get me wrong, it's still a great headset, and if I didn't have another one of these headsets, I would not care. It's a beautiful looking display. But because I then went from that to a modern pancake lens headset, it showed its age big bad way. So yeah, the Index, if you get an Index on, you know, secondhand, Facebook, Etsy, wherever you buy stuff, you don't buy Indexes on Etsy. Yeah, if you was to buy a secondhand Index, I wouldn't blame you at all. It's a great headset. But the DPVR, so just for science, I'm just going to jump onto their website to see if I can get a price of what they're currently selling it for. They are, at this point, I believe, more enterprise than consumer. Yeah, there's a lot about VR training and medical side of things and stuff like that. So I'm not seeing anything there. Let's go over to the DPVR Amazon store. And so it's £350, currently 25% off on Amazon. Which 350 quid, dramatically cheaper than a Quest 5. 3. Fuck. Other than that, it's currently 25% off. It does normally retail at $472, which is Quest money. So a Pimax Crystal, that is going to set you back a dramatically larger amount of money. So looking here at Pimax, the Pimax Crystal, I got to try one, and I was very, very pleased. Very pleased with what I saw. It was absolutely stunning. But it's a bit of an identity crisis. Here we go. So the Pimax website says the Pimax Crystal you can purchase from just $1,599 or $73.79 a month for 2 years. And so, yeah, that's not cheap. The Pimax Crystal, though, it's a standalone headset that's a PC VR headset. But it seems to be PC VR first, because the standalone side of things, yeah. So with that, it's quite weighty, it's quite large, and it's incredibly expensive. Like, I'm going to go for a big screen before I go for one of those. But it is all in one, and it's quite nice. So it's a lovely headset, looks great, got lots of really cool sort of, you know, next-gen graphics and gadgets on there, and it has eye tracking. The eye tracking is the future of VR, and it needs to happen on every freaking headset. It really does, because once it becomes generic, once it becomes just on everything, it's uniform, then devs can start utilizing it, and then people with the 3080s like me can get more, you know, they can squeeze more out of their systems, like the PlayStation VR 2 does. So, as far as comparing this to a Pimax Crystal, it is not apples for apples. You are going to get 3-4 DPVRs for one Pimax Crystal. No, if it's that's what you're looking at, then you are clearly in a different market. So realistically, what this headset does is it is the cheapest brand new PC only VR headset that I could realistically recommend. It's filling a gap in the market. It's very, very light. Something that a lot of people do seem to want to worry about. For example, Zimtok 5 has neck issues. Like, he's got injuries and stuff, and people that don't like weighty things on their head absolutely are going to go ahead and they are going to want that extra weight removed for comfort wise. I am not the right person to speak about Halo straps. I'm not a fan of them. I don't like them. I've spent vast quantity of money on the PSVR to make that comfortable. The Cosmos used to squeeze my head. I had a headache after 20 minutes. I will say this. This is the Really? I'm down here, idiot. This is the Bobo M3 for the Quest 3. This is a Halo head strap. And I actually quite like it. So that's a thing. Do these move? I just saw it and I was like, wait, is that a thing? No, it doesn't move. Cool. Yeah, so that's the M3 for the Quest 3. And I do quite like that as a head strap. So it's possible to get a Halo on my head and me be okay with it, is what I'm saying. That one's fine-ish. I'm not over the moon with it. Comfort-wise, yeah. But it's far from a deal breaker, but it is also worth mentioning that it's not removable. You can't change it. If you're not happy with it, that's the head strap you're getting. So then you have to start doing other things like getting different Velcro pads. Now, I will say this. I did have a word with fellow podcaster Paul the VR Realm, and he did mention that this rear pad is actually removable. It's Velcro. So with this being Velcro, you can actually maneuver it around on the strap and, make it more comfortable. You could flip it over and he recommended that I move that downwards. So then I had more cushion at the base of the neck. And then that way I had the headset lights out. Actually, that is quite a substantial difference. Yeah, that's quite nice. So yeah, there are definitely things you can do to improve the comfort, and the modularity of that means something like the globular cluster that you can get for the PSVR makes it a nice, easy make if the headset becomes popular enough that people feel the need to make these kinds of things. The front one is also Velcro, and these two side ones presumably are, yes, they are Velcro, and I imagine it's optional. The cable is one of the biggest deal breakers, and that is, I don't know, it's not terrible, but there's a reason they give you 4 clips for cable management. It's to take some of that weight and dump it onto your clothing. So that, I think, is why they give you those 4 clips, so you can start clipping it to places. Takes the weight of the cable, and it means you don't have to worry about that. Also, tripping over it as well, it can be quite good if you pin it to yourself. All in all, I think this is filling a it's filling a place in the market, which is bottom-end PC VR headsets. And to say it is a bottom-end PC VR headset, while it has got I always screw up saying Fresnel lenses. While it has those, which is where you could spend a bit more money. They've clearly cut corners here to save money. And it shows, but then again, you are also getting what you pay for. I could not find a PC VR headset in this price range that I could recommend over this one. Although if you were to go used, it does open up a lot more options. So in comparison to the likes of an Index, you are going to have a much better visual experience. Controller-wise, don't even get me started on those things. I have sweaty hands. and they're a nightmare for me. Whereas these, they are nice. They are basically, you know, modified Quest controllers at this point. PD points out that the angle in which that they sit absolutely is slightly different. That may help with tracking. It may make it worse. I really don't know. But all in all, it's very sort of normal and second nature to my hands. All the buttons are in a very, very similar location to that of a Quest. So there is that. You can create an account with DPVR, or you can sign in as a guest to use their features, so you're not forced to stick to their ecosystem. You are on Steam for your games. You don't have to buy them. Like HTC, they shoehorn Viveport in. Pimax have PyTools. Oculus has the Meta software, and Index has Steam VR. So DPVR have their software as well. It's not weird. It's not uncommon. It's perfectly fine. They don't have a store. They don't have a skin in the game for where you buy your games from. That's nice. It means you just go straight to Steam and you're golden. If you do have a Meta account and you want to revive stuff, that's absolutely fine. You could totally do that as well. Would I recommend the headset? It depends on what you're looking for. That's the problem. It depends on A, what you're looking for, and B, your budget and what you're sort of looking to do. I think the biggest thing is, how much do you hate Facebook? If you hate Facebook, if you hate Meta, if you don't want anything to do with Meta, but you want a lightweight VR headset that you can connect to a PC that's not going to cost you £1,000, you don't have to have multiple plug sockets all over the room to power lighthouses and things, then I'm going to struggle not to tell you to buy the DPVR E4. I can't think of another headset I would recommend over this. I've not tried the headphones that did come with this because I don't know about you guys, but I'm weird about... they look brand new, but I don't like sharing headphones. So I don't want to use PD's headphones. I have plenty of headphones, as you can see. I've got the Pulse and the Razer... No, the Kraken behind me. I could have plugged those in. That's fine. I'm not here to rate the audio in the sense that, like, if I was going to use it as a regular basis. But that said, the original Vive came with no audio solution. You generally were on your own headphones until you bought the deluxe audio strap. Monochrome breathing. Multicolor switching. Do it fast. Yes, fast switching. Swiss, yes, quickly with the blinking of the lights. Yeah, I don't know who that's for. I really don't. It's cool, but it's pointless. Right, anyway, I've waffled enough, and I'm going to have to edit the living crap out of this. So, thanks, PD, for letting me try this out. I didn't have the juddering... Well, I haven't watched the footage back, but in the headset, it was totally fine. I think you put too much light on. I think that was the problem. I will say this. If my Quest battery dies... and the Quest Pro isn't charged, and I can't use the Pico Neo, and I needed to stream for 2 hours, no, I'm probably going to reach for the Index. Yeah, I'm probably going to reach for the Index. It's so comfortable, and the microphone on it is so good. I would probably still pick the Index, even though the panel in there is worse. I would still pick the Index, just because if I've got a banging head from wearing the head strap, from wearing the headset, I'm not gonna be a good watch. I'm gonna be a miserable. I'm already am a miserable grumpy bastard, but it's not gonna be. I'm just gonna hate whatever I'm playing. It's gonna be a bad time. So no, it's I can't even say gun to the head in a pinch would I reach for the DPVR. The answer is no. I wouldn't reach for it. But then again, I'm massively privileged and obsessed with virtual reality. It's coming up to my decade in VR. I've probably got a stable with about 20 headsets. One day I may line them all up just to see them. But yeah, sorry DPVR. You're doing great things and keep doing what you're doing. A lot of this is personal preference. Your product is incredibly functional, and your pricing at this point in time at 25% off is a bargain for 300 and what did I say it was 370 quid? £354. Yeah, totally buy this thing. This is fine. But I would struggle to recommend somebody buy that over a Quest 3 if they were looking at buying a headset. But if you hate Meta, this is the one. Right, I'm going to stop talking because, yeah, this has gone on for way too long. Thank you very much for watching. Keep an eye out for the podcast and for more videos coming back to the channel. I got lazy and just became a streamer, but I still want to try and put out at least 1 or 2 videos a week. So in the new year, that's going to start happening. I hope. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. All right, thank you very much for watching, and the Doctor is out.